reality, a human isn't bound by his deeds. The expectations linked to those deeds bind him. Arjun asked, "How so, Krishna?" Krishna said, "If you hope to be victorious in this war, then you shall feel immense sorrow upon defeat. And that sorrow shall compel you to do something else for which you need to be born again. If you are victorious, your arrogance shall grow. And that arrogance shall drive you towards worldly triumph. It shall make you kill, and the sin ought to it shall bind you. Think about it. If in this battle you have no desire to win and have no fear of losing, would you feel bliss or sorrow at the end of this war?" Arjun said, "Neither bliss, Krishna, nor sorrow." Krishna said, "Therefore your bliss, sorrow, hopelessness, disappointment, arrogance aren't due to the war. The expectations that you have from the war shall cause them. Is it not true, Arjun? Therefore, holding joys and sorrows as equals without thinking of gain, loss, victory or defeat, if you engage in battle, O son of Kunti, you shall not bear any sins. This is called Karma Yoga. The one who attains the knowledge of Sankhya realizes the fact that he isn't a body but a mere soul. That the bliss and experiences of the body are only until death. And therefore aren't real but just illusions. For him, becoming a karma yogi becomes easier." Arjun asked, "But Krishna, if deeds are meant to restrain, isn't it wise to renounce the world and embrace sainthood?" Krishna said, "Such thinking is the sole reason for this war today, Arjun. Ponder over it. When the ones possessing gunas and the ones who know justice give up deeds, then the ones full of injustice run the world. Had Grandsire Bhishma not renounced the world, injustice wouldn't have grown so vast today. And had your father not gone on an exile, brother Yudhishthir would be reigning in peace today and would be teaching his subjects about justice and righteousness. But Arjun, the sad truth is that only the virtuous ones can benefit the world. But they are the ones who often think of sainthood. Just as water drifts away as steam and dirt keeps lying right there, similarly the virtuous and learned ones give up the world and unjust ones possessed by tamas function in the world. Or to this very reason sins and injustice grow in the world. But Karma Yoga protects this world from this bizarre situation. A Karma Yogi gives up expectations of an outcome but not the deeds themselves. He stays in this very world like a saint. He performs all actions but doesn't lose himself in one. A Karma Yogi expects nothing from his children, from his dear ones and even his subjects at all. He himself reaps the benefits of sainthood. But he benefits the world like a familial head." Arjun asked, "A human toils for the well-being of his offsprings. How can he not expect joy from his own offsprings?" Krishna said, "Whatever a human does for his children, is it a transaction or an act of love?" Arjun said, "Love, Krishna." Krishna said, "Then why expect an outcome for his deeds, Arjun? Future gains are measured in a transaction and not in love. The human who molds his children's character well and bestows the virtues of love and justice upon them, his children shall surely give him love and protection. The deeds of one's children and the behavior of dear ones reflect one's own deeds, Arjun. And when one has no rights upon their deeds, what is the use of having hopes and expectations from them? If you think deeply, Arjun, you shall realize soon that there is no deed in life to which linking hopes and expectations is inevitable. When the creation is God and human is a fragment of God, all actions are caused by God himself. A human does nothing on his own. This is the base principle of Karma Yoga, Arjun. Hence it is necessary that you become a Karma Yogi and fight this battle, Arjun. By giving up 3 gunas, be free of them, Arjun. Be free of this dilemma. Always think for Sattva, which is the Lord himself, and continue with your duties. The desire to achieve something and the thought of defending something that was achieved must be given up, Arjun, and liberate your soul. Remember, Arjun, your right is only to commit deeds. The outcome relies on the Lord. Therefore neither is it right to run from deeds nor is it right to expect a return for your deeds." Arjun asked, "The one who gives up on outcomes but does not give up deeds, how can such a Karma Yogi be recognized, Krishna?" Krishna said, "Look, Arjun, the one who gives up food just to escape its taste, in reality the craving for taste never leaves his mind. He faces a twofold loss. For one, he becomes weak, due to which the inevitable effort of attaining the Lord cannot be done by him. And secondly, his mind is always full of craving for taste. Hence, rather than giving up food, one better gives up the craving for taste itself. A karma yogi draws out all cravings in his mind. He accepts life as his duty and does function. But he is never in harmony with his actions. And Arjun, the one who has no hopes and expectations from his actions, are the one whose motives are fulfilled. The one whose mind doesn't falter even after one failure, the one who doesn't think he is most superior after one success, such a person is called a karma yogi. And such a person succeeds in life repeatedly. Wishes arise out of expectations of outcome. And it is a characteristic of wishes to stay unfulfilled. Unfulfillment gives rise to anger. And anger gives rise to desire. Due to desire, a person forgets the knowledge of behavior and interaction. Loss of knowledge causes loss of virtue. Inappropriate actions take place. And the society becomes an enemy of such a person. And in the end, such a person meets complete downfall. Like for brother Duryodhan, his commander-in-chief grandsire is his enemy and he blessed you to emerge victorious. Arjun, dutifulness is the second step towards the divine knowledge. Strengthen your faith in the Almighty. Know your own self. Break free from the shackles of bondage. Sacrifice the desire of the outcome and do only your duty. Arjun asked, by strengthening my faith in the Almighty, how can I become dutiful? Krishna said, Arjun, due to Sankhya Yoga, a human keeps reminiscing the Almighty. Reminiscing the Almighty gives birth to a sense of submission. And this sense is called devotion. Devotion enlightens a human about what is right and wrong. And that knowledge gives him a glimpse of the Almighty. The one who gets a glimpse of the Almighty, he becomes the most dutiful. He is freed from the circle of rebirth and attains salvation. That is the ultimate aim of all souls and the pinnacle of righteousness. Arjun asked, but how will I submit without a glimpse of the Almighty, Madhav? Krishna said, to get a glimpse of the Almighty, get rid of greed, pride, anger and prejudice. If a person sitting in a dark room says that he wants to see the sun, what will you suggest him? Won't you tell him to come out of the room and stand under an open sky? Sun is already present there. Similarly, Arjun, this universe is the Almighty. The Almighty is everything, nothing else other from Him. The one who sees his soul sees the Almighty. Like the taste of a single granule of salt is indifferent from the taste of the ocean, similarly a soul is indifferent from the Supreme Soul. Arjun asked, that means, Madhav, are you the Almighty? Krishna said, yes, Arjun. I am the Almighty, just like you are, but you aren't enlightened about it unlike me. Arjun asked, so, Madhav, why isn't submission before you regarded submission before God? Krishna said, absolutely. Submission before me is submission before the Almighty. Sacrifice everything and seek my refuge, Arjun. I am the universe. I am present in every aspect of the universe. I am the sun and I am the moon. I am present in all the constellations and planets. I am more ancient than the sun and as new as a blossoming flower. I am the human race. I am the power that creates heaven and hell. I am Duryodhan. And I am Arjun too. Arjun asked, how is that possible, Madhav? People have witnessed your birth. Your mother is still alive. You took birth from her womb. How can you be both ancient and modern? Krishna said, you are seeing the body and I talk of the soul. I have been born innumerable times, Arjun. I have many avatars. I have taken up many forms and have died right here. And I will take many births in the future as well. Whenever righteousness is harmed, whenever the evil raises its hood in order to rescue the righteous, to annihilate the evil and to re-establish righteousness, I'll take birth. This has happened in every age and will continue to happen in future as well. I am the Almighty. I was the Matsya avatar and the Vamana avatar. I am Parashurama and I was Lord Rama. I am Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. And I am Saraswati, Kali and Lakshmi as well. I am neither male nor female nor a transgender. I am neither the body nor its parts. I am knowledge, creation, reason and eternal. I am everything, yet I am nothing. This has happened in every age and will happen in future as well. Arjun said, I want a glimpse of your true form, Madhav. Behold, Arjun,